Better? Hopefully everyone can hear me now. Yeah, sometimes Touch Portal doesn't actually register that I tapped it. Perfect. How's everyone doing? Hey Raffers, hey Stefan, hey Scale, hey Phil, hey Coil. How are we all doing today? I'm going to give it 2 more minutes and then we'll get started. Just to let people show up. What have people been up to today? Not much. I need profiles to build this awesome machine. Well, hopefully if all goes well, we'll have a full kit for you in a few months' time. Right, I think we waited long enough. So, first things first. Yes, this is the LDO kit, but it's not the finalized kit, so you guys need to understand that. First things first, there's going to be bits missing from this kit. LDO has sent it to me in order to validate the kit. So there's going to be some things that are going to be different from the ones you buy yourselves. I'll explain those as I go through as much as I can. Thanks again to LDO and all the guys out there who have put this kit together. For the guys who are asking on the Discord about when this will be available, Jason from LDO gave me a timeline of about 6 months, and that was about a month ago. So we're looking at that kind of timeline right now. Could be more, could be less. It very much depends on what's going to be in this kit. Secondly, you also can see my self-sourced Milo behind you on its little stand. This stand is sized to fit Casa, so what we'll be doing is we'll be taking the best of each one of my Milos. So I'm going to take the steel plates off of the steel FMJs off of this Milo. Once this Milo is built, I'm going to take the aluminium ones that LDO have in their kits and swap them out. Just going to take the best of each one to create the best Milo I can. Since then, since I put this the bill of materials for this kit together for LDO, we have gone and tested Hearts of Iron. Well, when I say we, I mean Phil has, and he's giving me some good feedback for it. Say everything's working all right. So I'm going to ask Jason if he can include those. It might be too late. It might not be, but that's going to be a thing for the future. I'm working on setting up an accelerometer for my Voron V2.4 so I can finally run input shaping. Oh, nice. Oh yeah, only profiles or profiles and motors. This is everything that you need to build a Milo. So it's motors, profiles, rails, everything that you'll need is in here. Right. Any other questions before we get going, or should we just start ripping this bad boy open? Right, I've already looked through here, by the way, so I kind of know what I'm expecting. Stick that on the chair over there. Printed parts included in the kit? No. This kit comes from China, and as much as we'd like to include a lot of stuff, you're going to end up paying an extreme premium for every kilo that you're sending. So if we can get away with having 3 kilos less parts, that's probably the best thing to do. It's the same with Casa kit. We were discussing it. It's not a definite thing yet, but the Casa kit isn't going to come with the panels because they're just too heavy and too big to ship, man. Oh, very cool. I need the kit. I wouldn't expect it to have printed parts. No printed parts on this one. Perfect. So first things first, we'll go with the actual frame kit. Now, we've seen these before, right? These are the FMJs that come with the kit. These ones are 120, unlike the FMJs that I got sent a few months back. They look awesome. They're sturdy as all hell. These are going to be standard in the LDO kits. You get 2 of them, of course. And we'll stick those over there for now. Bottom panel, right? Normal, everyday, I think it's 3mm acrylic, which is what I spec'd, I believe. It was a long time ago since I've done this. Since I actually had a look at the bottom panel. Will the FMJs be available on their own from LDO? Jason was saying something about selling them. I'm not too sure. You'll have to ask him on that. All right. So we'll go over to the motion parts. So these aren't MGN rails. They're LDO's own. They're not their own brand ones, but their own version of MGN 15s. They're exactly the same. Rail profile is a tiny bit different, but it will make no difference at the end of the day. These come, as far as I can see, they're pre-greased, which is nice, and they ride really smoothly. Right, so you've got your X-axis, your Y-axis, and your Z-axis over here in the middle. Right. On the side, you've got your brass lead screw nuts. I'm going to ask if they can send an extra 1 or 2 of these, because just having the bare minimum means that you can't replace them when they wear out eventually. And it's always nice to have a couple spares. I know that they're cheap and you can let them sell yourself, but you know what? Right. Lead screws. So just your plain bog standard TR8x8 lead screws. You got XY and then the Z lead screw over here. Right. Couple of the extrusions. I think these are the extrusions for the X-axis. Yeah, those are the ones for the X-axis. The 2 extra ones on the side. All these extrusions have been. You can tell when it's a good extrusion when they've gone and made an effort with them, because instead of just seeing the bare metal sides, you'll often see. Let me see if I can get this up on camera for you. Right, these are anodized on the ends and inside the threads as well. Come on, focus. Don't focus on me. Whatever. You get my point. Do the carriage have real lubrication ports on them? They don't have any lubrication ports at all. Nope. They've completely omitted them, which is all right. For something hobby, you need to grease them once every couple of months. It would have been nice to see them, but proper high-wind MGN rails that do have the grease ports tend to run a premium, so it's a compromise I'd be willing to take at least. And they run the same company rails on the Trident that I have that they sent me, and they've never caused an issue, so I think they'll be fine. They look clean too. Often you get debris. Yep, these are absolutely clean. They had no oil on them. There's absolutely no residue. So they're prepped and ready. I think they're stainless steel as well, so you shouldn't need to worry too much about needing to grease them up. Right, stick this on the floor because I don't have any room in here anymore. That's it. And same thing again. You've got the frame sections of the extrusions. So all your C-beams in one, all your other, I think these are the table beams over here. So it will come with the clean too. Often you get debris. Oh, you're talking about in the aluminium profiles. Yeah, the profiles are awesome, right? I ran a screwdriver across one of these the other day, and it's a proper hard coat as well, so which is going to be good. so you won't get too many scratches on them. The ooze nest ones, as much as I love ooze nest, they don't go through this whole process because it would just be too expensive for them. And the hard coat on the hard anodizing, it doesn't last very much. So right, we'll stick that all in the box. That's everything that's in there. The rails feel a bit beefier as well. Right? Yeah, they just feel a bit beefier. Not too sure if they actually are. Let's get some music going as well. Perfect. Yeah, one of the reasons I often get clear profiles is out of fear of cheap coatings. Yeah, sometimes you even just get painted on anodizing, which isn't really anodizing, but they like to make them look black, but they actually aren't. I do hope that one day they do a bunch of colors, so you can choose like from a red or a black or a green. DFH does some green extrusions, and I really like the color of. I might actually ask him if I could steal some off of him someday. Perfect. So that's all the frame bits. I've gone with clear because of that. Yeah, that's all the frame bits and the FMJs and all that stuff. Right, what do we go on to next? I'll leave the spindle for last because we'll need to open that up and see the bearings inside of them. We'll go through here. So, 2 baggies, each containing the plates required for the XY and Z axes. And man, do these feel good. Right, there's slightly lighter anodizing than the rest of the frame, but that shouldn't matter too much because you don't really see them all that much. But it looks like these have a thick layer of a thick anodizing on them, even thicker than what was on the profiles themselves. Yeah, these are nice. They don't take any finger smudges. Awesome. Right. So that's the Z plate there. And again, no oil on these. They wouldn't need oil anyway because they're aluminium, but still. It's the XY plate there. Just going to stick those in. No, I'll stick them in the separate bags actually. Awesome. So what else is in this box? Yep. So everything else in here is your fasteners. Right, these aren't black oxide, so you might see that they're a bit darker than normal fasteners that you get. But these aren't the black oxide ones that would just rust to hell. These have been... I don't know what they've been actually. Don't know what kind of coating that is, but it's a darker coating than you would normally get. And those will do nice to match with the build, and they're on everything. They're on all the M5s, all the M3s, all the bolts have that nice dark finish on them. So they shouldn't rust. And then you've got your M2.5s with brass inserts. All the inserts have been counted out for you, and I've actually counted some of them. There are a decent amount of spares of each type, so you shouldn't have any issues with if you lose a couple here or there. Perfect. So that's one box of screws. Right, electronics. So, you've seen this before, most probably, but we might as well bring it out. So, this is the Fly CDY V3. It's the board that we recommend. Nothing too special about it. It just runs RepRap firmware, and it's the one that we have in the electronics manual. So the LDO guys actually modified the mounting system for it. Not the mounting system, the mount for it. I am actually going to steal their mount. I'm going to ask it for them, the files for it. I'm going to add that to the CAD that we have. Because all in all, they've actually done a better job than I did on the mount for it. Not sure if it's going to come shipped already attached to the mount. I don't know. It might do, it might not. So I'll have to ask them about that. As for drivers that they're supplying with the kit, they're going to be supplying 2209s, which should be able to output 2 amps of current, which should be enough to run the motors that they give you. You don't need to run your motors at full current. Right, 2 amps is more than enough for most motors. Also comes with SanDisk Ultra, SD card. I believe these are the mellow type drivers as well. These mellow rounded, yeah. Right, which is good because Mellow has had issues in the past with having drivers that don't work on other boards, or their boards don't work with other manufacturers' drivers. So I'd recommend, if you're going to get from Mellow, if you're going to go with the Mellow boards, go with their drivers as well. Perfect. We got feet, a few more fasteners, some beefy, very beefy spider couplers. These are about twice the thickness as the normal ones that I've got in the past, which is nice to see. They don't come apart as easily, which is a good thing. For feet, you won't need to print your own feet out if you're getting the LDO kit. Right, you'll just have some plain rubber feet. I think these are similar to the ones that they have on the V2.4. Right. They're not the same that came on the Trident kit. They don't have the flared bases like these ones do. Awesome. I haven't actually checked these out yet. So, bog standard cable chains. They're not the IGUS ones. They do have the 3-hole mounting points. I'm assuming LDO's not changing their design, you know, because if you don't know, if you've never built anything from LDO, they do actually design some of their own stuff. They do make their own modifications with a few things, and one of the modifications that they've had in the past that was an option on the Trident that I built over here was to have the IGUS chains, but I don't think they're adding them on this one. That might just keep costs down. It might just be that they didn't see the need for it, but hey, at the end of the day, they do the job perfectly. Looks like what I would expect from LDO quality. I agree. I've never been disappointed by stuff from LDO. Next box. More fasteners and some things that you might find very cool. Aluminium hand wheels. Right? So, these would normally go onto the ends of one of your axes, and you'd be able to spin it around. There's also a handle in here, just like that. I don't know if these are a stock part or if they've made these custom, but these are a very nice addition if you want to run them. Personally, I don't run them. I don't run the hand wheels unless I'm needing to do something like ultra simple, like facing cuts or something like that. I would not keep these installed on the machine if you're running some high-speed machining, some high-feed machining, because these will just fly everywhere, and if they do come off, they're going to cause some damage. But as something to have when you need them, they're excellent to have. They're a nice addition. You get two of them, one for your x-axis, one for your y-axis, obviously. Now, I'm not sure if these are custom either, but I'm guessing they're not. These aren't the same T-nuts that I got given in my Trident kit. These have a more trapezoidal shape on them than the ones I got from the Trident kit. I don't know if they've just swapped over since I used them, but these are your T-nuts, and they're T-nuts. They're fairly bog standard. They look good, look decent quality. Some more fasteners. You get your aluminium blocks to tie everything down to the table with. I spec 6 of these. They only gave us 4, but that's fine because I only run 4 anyway. You don't need that many. I just spec 6 as a just in case type thing. Right, next box. Oh, so remember when I said that there's going to be some stuff that you might not see in the end kit? So the motors I have, the ones that I know of, aren't terminated. They don't have connections on them. So I think they just sent over a bunch of cable for me to put it all together with. I'll have to ask them if that's going to be part of the final kit. I'm sure it's not. LDO's normally pretty good with making some custom wire looms, but just for a prototype kit, a bunch of cables fine. Right. Meanwhile, power supply. I think it's the LRS 350. LRS 350. Right. More than enough power for the system that they're going for. And I've also noticed they put some Wagos in here. I'm guessing I've got a personal Wago mount that I use on my machines, but I haven't published anything yet because I'm not happy with it. I'm guessing LDO's gone about and made their own Wago STL so that you can split the mains and DC power going to the power supply. That way you can have mains going to your VFD and mains going to your power supply, and then you can work them back from there. Right, last box. Right, so belts and pulleys. Right. From the kind of red color that these have. Oh, yep, branding on the side. These are Gates belts. All right. I have never known Gates to actually make these sizes before, but apparently they do, and apparently LDO is shipping those, which is going to be cool. And here's the thing that I love seeing: these will get chewed up over time. Belts just do. So they've sent over 2 of them, which is always nice to see. Good, good, good. Right. Right. SS5GL micro switches. I don't think these are Omron branded. These Omron branded. Oh no, these are. Yeah, these are. These are official Omron branded switches, which is very nice to see. I feel so cheap now for my build. I use the cheapest Chinese stuff I could find because that's all I could afford at the time. Locking collars. Locking collars. Aluminium, not steel, which is fine. The application doesn't call for steel ones. They've got all of the grub screws are inside the bag as well, so it should be easy to put together. Next up is the outlet. All the electrical bits that you'll need. Right, this is just for getting AC into the machine itself. Even if you're building CASA, you'll still need one of these because CASA does need electricity at some stage. And it just feeds into the same port on the very back. All your bearings look decent quality, no rust on them, and a very decent quality e-stop. See if you can hear that. Nice. They did send me a pre-terminated wire for the spindle, so you won't need to I'm guessing you won't need to bother with any of the actual soldering of the cups for the spindle itself, right? Which is, if you've ever soldered one of these, it's an absolute pain to do, so glad to see that that's been done for you guys. Awesome. Right, my all-time favorite piece from this kit, and if you saw my YouTube shorts the other day, oh, that wire is a nice argument. What do you mean by that? Recently had to solder mine, only took 4 tries. Yep, they're a pain. If you saw my YouTube short the other day, you'll know what these are. And they're my absolute favorite part of this kit because there's absolutely no reason to have them. But LDO went out of their way to do it anyway. So, these are the feet for Milo, right? The same pieces over here, but for some reason, the LDO guys have decided that printed plastic ones aren't good enough, right? So instead of making printed versions of these, they've made full-on metal ones. Not only are they full-on metal, these are steel. There's no reason to have these as steel. No performance benefit, but they did it anyway, and I love that. I am kind of bummed that they made them red, but you kind of have to match them to the official coloring scheme. I'm going to go with a complete stealth build, so I'm actually going to repaint these my own color when I build this kit up together. Awesome. So that's everything that was in that box. Final big box. Those are the details that make me really like LDO. Yep, they do some cool stuff. All right. So these 3 boxes are the motors. Those are just motor wires. Right. NEMA 23 as spec'd in the normal build guide. Jason sent me a set of these out a while ago. The LDO 57S TH56-2804AC. Right, that's the part number for them. I have tested these. I tested them with 2209s. They work absolutely fine. Let me know though if you guys would rather have bigger motors, right? Because motors and drivers are all up in the air at the moment. If you guys want larger motors in the kit, or a larger motor for the Z-axis, for example, let us know and we'll see if we can include a 5160 driver for that motor. Or we can go full 5160 and go much bigger motors on all axes. I don't think they're necessary, but people seem to like overkill in this community, so that's absolutely fine by me. How long have we been streaming for? 42 minutes. Awesome. Alright, next up is the VFD. I don't have much to say about this VFD. I've never heard of the brand before. To be honest, cheap Chinese VFDs, you're gonna find different brands that you're never gonna have heard of before. It looks like a decent build quality. It's not covered in grease like the V1 one that I got was. It's going to be a challenge to program this thing because all the instructions are in Chinese. So that's going to be something I need to figure out for myself. Once I do though, it's probably going to be a case of just getting those instructions to LDO and they'll write something up on their website. So you should be able to just plug and play it off of the instructions that are on there. Yeah, like I said, there's not much to say about it. Now, here, ooh, one thing about the VFD that I kind of liked. Got to tell you guys about. If you don't want to control your VFD via PWM, then you can use the front panel on most of these VFDs, but they normally run a ribbon cable from the back of them, and those are likely to break, and they're really super annoying to actually work with. On the back of these, there is, I think it's an RJ11 port, right? I've never seen that on a VFD before. I'm not sure if it's standard on a lot of them, but there's an RJ11 port, which you should be able to connect back to the VFD, so you can get some custom length cords for those quite easily. And if you wanted to make a mod for CASA, for example, in the future, where you're running it off of the main panel rather than via PWM, that's going to make your life a lot easier. Awesome. Now, onto the spindle. Now, this one's going to be a bit weird. So this is an 80mm spindle. Now, normally, an 80mm spindle means 2.2 kilowatts of power. But this isn't. So it's ER11 for the collet size. It's 1.5 kilowatts, but it's 80mm. I can't figure out why it's this big for its power output. My theory is that this is going to give you a more constant power curve at lower RPMs. So I'm hoping we should be able to run these at much lower RPMs, which means a greater chip load, which means we should maybe, if we combine FMJs, Hearts of Iron and all that, we could maybe have a crack at cutting some steel on one of these. I don't know. I'll have to have a look. The bearings inside them, I have taken these apart to check if the bearings need to be re-greased or anything like that. They are proper angular contact bearings. They're not just ball bearings. If you have one of the Vivo spindles, which seem to be quite popular, those aren't angular contact ball bearings. Those are just, sorry, those aren't angular contact bearings. They're just plain old ball bearings. This one over here, this Vivo spindle, it's already got a bunch of play in it that I need to replace one of the bearings on it. The bearing's only 20 quid, but you know, it's still a job that I need to do. Like, you can feel the play on them. And I'm going to replace it with a proper angular contact one. Are you doing a build series with this kit? Yes, I will be. So, I can't do it straight away. In 2 days' time, I leave for Italy. I'm away for 2 weeks, so I won't be doing that, at least until I get back. I'm also going to be with my family for an extra week because they're coming down. So it's going to be 2 to 3 weeks until I can get the next stream out. I also have to print all the parts and actually get all that stuff done. But there will be a build series on it. And then what I'll be doing at the end of it is, like I said at the beginning of the stream, I'm going to be taking all the best parts of this Milo, all the best parts of the LDO Milo, and just slamming them into a single machine. All right? Inconel when? Probably never. Is it Inconels or titanium that's a really bad fire hazard? I think it's titanium. Yeah. I think Inconel you'll need ceramic. Is it Inconel that you use ceramic bits on? Ceramic end mills? Yeah, I think it is. Awesome. Things that are missing in the kit so far that I'm going to talk to Jason about. There is no PWM2 voltage converter, and there are no relays, right? Both of which you'll need if you want to control your VFD via, what's it called? Via your control board. They're not in the kit. I don't know why they didn't include them. They have been asking about the electronics side, so it could just be that they hadn't caught up by the time we got it. I'm going to send that all over to Jason. I can get some of those parts myself and figure it out for myself on this end, so it's absolutely fine. Let me know in the Discord or anywhere if there's any features you want them to add. Obviously, we've said it might be an idea to add the Hearts of Iron stuff. That would be cool to see. But if there's anything that you guys want to see as part of the kit, if you want a Long John tool setter as part of the main kit, let us know. For now, I'm going to pack all this stuff back up. Right, it is now completely blocking the door, so I won't be able to get out of this room until I've cleared all that out of the way. Right, so that's the LDO kit. I hope it's up to people's standards for now. Just remember, everything can change, and anything will change. Everything will change if you want it to. Like I said, Casa is in the works. This bench over here is going to be something that comes up in the future. Right? I'm not going to talk too much about it now, but it's going to be something that I release as a separate thing to Milo, and it's not going to be just this bench. But like I said, we'll talk about that when we get there. Right. Anything else? Anything else? Anything else? Oh, the Voron V0 Frankenstein V0.2 is still in the works. I've done a bunch of work on it. It's gonna take some time. I don't know when it's gonna be finished, but hopefully it gets finished soon because my Trident has started acting up a little bit, and I don't want it to die on me again. This whole room is going to have a bit of a makeover in a little bit. I'm going to be adding a overhead camera soon because I found my old GoPro, so hopefully that's going to be good. Yeah. In terms of V0.2 news, there's not much news to tell you, I'm afraid. We've started doing some internal testing. Not going to say too much about it, but I'll be recording it to hopefully make a series for you guys at some stage, just to let you know how we're approaching it. There's going to be a lot more testing this time around than there was with the 1.5. V1.5 was just a kind of upgrade from V1.4, whereas V2 is going to be a complete rework from the ground up. So we're going to be doing a lot more testing, which is going to take time. I don't have an estimate in my head for when it's going to be releasing. Probably, maybe, completely guessing, it's going to be at least a year. Probably more, depending on how things go. If you didn't hear before, we're going to have the LDO kit and my personal Milo and Dave's Milo at Smurf in December. So that's going to be cool. And we're going to have a bit of a mess around up there. Other than that, there's nothing really left to talk about. Yeah, that's everything. Awesome. Sorry for the short stream today, guys. I just wanted to do the unboxing. I don't have any parts to actually start building yet, so that's gonna have to be a thing that we do later. I hope you guys all have an amazing evening. Cheers from me, and I hope the LDO kit is to your satisfaction. Night, folks.